If you create a classroom wiki and want to use it as a way to collaborate with your students or a way to allow your students to collaborate with each other, one of the most likely things you're going to do is to allow them to upload files to the wiki. You might create special pages, call them by special names, and have several students work on that particular page or work on each page in a collaborative fashion. They could change some of the text, and they could also upload PowerPoints or upload pictures. There would be different kinds of things they could do. In order to do this, in order to make your wiki accessible to your students, you're going to need to go to the Settings section of your page, which is over here on the right hand side. So I'll click there. And then over here on the left you have access controls, and you're going to have users. So you're going to actually set up who can be the users of these pages that you've created. And when I say these pages, I actually mean the entire wiki. It's if you set the privileges for your students, they can access any page of that particular wiki. Now what you can do is you can have different wikis. Once you have an account, you can create multiple wikis, and that way only specific students would have specific permission to go to a specific wiki. So in this case, I'll click on users. Not quite sure why it chose today to be so slow. Sorry. Well, how annoying. It's been one of those days. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so what you see is in this case, if it's your wiki, you would see your name, and then down here you get to add users. Now they're going to have an email address. Anybody using the wiki has to have a valid email address. So if your school hasn't assigned email addresses, there's a workaround. If your students don't have Hotmail accounts or that kind of thing, what you could do is you could create a Gmail account for yourself. And Gmail is rather interesting. It doesn't recognize anything in the address line after a plus sign. So if you have your Gmail account, you know, it's your name, it's your user part of your name at gmail.com. So you could have your user part of your name plus the student's name, all one word, at gmail.com, and it won't recognize anything after the plus, but you'll see that it's that student. So you could make a list of kind of fake Gmail accounts for your students. They couldn't use it as email, but it would let them log in. So what you do in this case, then you're going to add users, you're going to add their email addresses, and then basically you're going to add them as writers. You generally don't add them as editors or administrators because if they mess up a page, you can fix it. You can redo it real easily. There's a little line here that says what's the difference, okay? And in that case, I open this up for you. Sorry, this is absolutely going so slow, but it brings up a list telling you what the difference between a writer is and these other kinds of functions. Then you make your list, then you press add invite, and then if you had to do the workaround, do the Gmail thing, you'd wind up getting all that mail yourself, and then you just respond to it, and that would add all of them to the wiki, and then they could log on and actually work on it and actually upload files. So as you notice, I'm trying to use software that's appropriate for this course, and what you're looking in watching here is what's called a WMV file. It's created Windows Media Encoder, ENCODER, and if it's something you wanted to use, you could actually go to Google, type in Windows Media Encoder, and you'd find the free download, and it downloads about 4 little tiny software files, one of which is called Capture Screen. And so I've used this screen capture function. It's very intuitive, and when you save it, it saves as a WMV file, which sometimes you can email as an attachment, or you can just add to a page either as a document or a link. So that's the end of this little lecture.